Today we're going to discuss the Binance SEC case, and we're going to look at what Bitcoin is doing right now. Is it actually continuing the bear market, or are we looking at a potential entry? Before we continue, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also check out our public Discord where we discuss this on a daily basis. What we also do in our Discord is the following. We've got a monthly ROI which is posted yesterday about May. The monthly ROI is 21R. What does it mean? 21R is 21% profits if you are risking 1% per trade. In the past month, we've had a pretty decent week. We've had a pretty bad week, and consolidation on the weeks after, in which the last week was quite profitable. As you can see, we still have a few pending trades open. So that's why we've got 21R, and in net profit is 9% for the portfolio, which is looking at the case where we are going to see a consistent flow, as we always take profits when the markets or the trades are going to grind back up. So that's why you can see that the net profit is lower than the total R. For 2023, we are up to 60R. For 2023 in net profit, we are up to 48%. We will be updating you every month on this. These are trade IDs solely. It's not including my portfolio. It's also not including another portfolio from the traders, but it's just the trade IDs that we give. So 60% or 48% over the years, actually what we're looking at here. So in this update, we are focusing on the Binance SEC. We are also looking at the case that Bitcoin has been correcting, what we're looking at next. Make sure to stay tuned as we are heading into the topic overall. So the news yesterday was about Binance, and the important part here is that it's not solely about Binance, it is about Binance US, which is just a small part, 2% of Binance in total. So the entire impact that we are having here on the markets is a little bit overextended in a way that we can see that the markets are reacting in such a way because it's impacting the entire market. Why is that? The news that came out was also stating that there are unregistered securities, which is that Cardano, Solana, Matic, and some other cryptocurrencies are being qualified or classified as unregistered securities according to the SEC. That is the more underlying important part. And it's the opposite of what we've seen on June 1st, in which China and basically Asia is opening up and are progressive. So you can actually start trading crypto over there, and in the US they start banning crypto. And I think it shows that the US is losing its power and that you shouldn't be solely focusing on the US, but it's impacting the markets. So what has been taking place? The SEC has been suing Binance over trading in unregistered securities. What does happen after that? You get a file of 130 pages with a ton of bullshit, or at least a ton of things that always happen during startups and scale-ups and corporates. Everything is just being looked at. Every word that has been phrased is all over social media. But ultimately, it's an attack against the entire crypto markets. Every exchange has this, and the markets have been reacting in a negative way. So that's what's happening here. The SEC has also accused Binance of mishandling customer funds as well as lying to regulators and investors about its operations in 13 charges filed on Monday. They say they have been mixing billions of dollars, and the charges include misleading investors about the adequacy of its systems to detect and control manipulative trading. Regulators also said that Binance did not take sufficient steps to restrict US investors from accessing Binance unregulated exchange. I think they did, but hey, it's the government saying so. Now, Binance and CZ has responded to this entire topic, and they have already tweeted of course. But ultimately, they said that in the response, they have been working with the SEC and the government to actually provide a solution. And I think that this entire thing provides an attack against Binance. It's literally an attack against crypto overall, because the government overall wants to have a stable currency that is a CBDC, which provides a case where they have control. And with Binance or with cryptocurrencies as we have them right now, they don't have control. So that's what's happening here. I'm scrolling down on the CZ page because they have been giving a response already in which what I just mentioned is that they are in contact with them. They have been helping them, or they have been trying to pursue the benefits of crypto and to create a framework that's beneficial for everyone. However, the SEC didn't find it enough, and that's why they start suing Binance. So I think that ultimately, if you look at the entire case right now, it's a little bit over-exaggerated in terms of the reaction on the markets. It is an attack to everyone. It is something we have been expecting, and I think it's the final one, which means that there was one party left to be attacked, which is Binance, and that is currently taking place. We've also seen that FTX fell down in November, and that was actually the bottom call. So in case, in the current case, with this entire framework being built out of legislation or regulatory frameworks, I think that this actually could be a signal that this was the final one. And if you look at the price action from yesterday, there was a build up to it. Open interest was going through the roof. People were building shorts on Binance. So there was some inside info, and I think that this is out now and there's not much left, simply put. So what are we looking at in terms of the markets? I think if you look at the higher time frame perspective, it shows you the more important parts. The total market cap is the more important chart over here, which shows you where you can find important support levels. We have been dancing above the 200-week MA and 200-week EMA for weeks. And ultimately, we are currently finding it, and we have been testing it yesterday as we took the liquidity beneath the lows too. Right now, we are bouncing back up, which shows that we're currently in a thesis or in an area where we might be finding ourselves into a potential bottoming structure. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. We just are currently retesting the 200-week MA and EMA. For Bitcoin, if you look at it, we are losing it, right? So we are losing the 200-week MA, and we're currently resting on the 200-week EMA. So that is a weaker signal. But if we're looking at this entire corrective move of Bitcoin, we can still argument that we're currently in a case of having a bottom here. This was the FTX deviation. And just remember this, we've had this range construction. We were making lower highs. We have been this deviation. We broke back above this previous high and started to accelerate. Then we created a higher high and higher low, another higher high, and now we're looking at a case that this previous high at 25.2 is becoming support again. Even though if we're going to wick further towards 24K, that is still in the structure of creating those higher highs, higher lows, which automatically means that we are opening up for continuation to the upside, which means that if we are going to take this high at 32K, we can close it all the way towards 37 and even can start targeting this area here around 43K. So although the Bitcoin price action is losing the 200-week MA and 200-week EMA, I'm always putting more effort into and more value into the 200-week MA and EMA of the total market cap. And in this case, it never broke beneath the all-time high of 2017, which is also a signal that is more important to watch than that you're solely focusing on Bitcoin. Simply put, the entire ecosystem is larger. When we're looking at the total market cap, we can see that we've got this. And when we're looking at the total too, we can also see that we're still swimming above the 200-week MA and EMA. In the coming few weeks are going to be important. If we bounce back up in the next 1.5 weeks, then this was the final swing down, and we're going to continue the trend to the upside. Probably firstly we need some chop, but at least the point is quite clear. And when we're looking at the price action of Bitcoin overall, what are we looking at in terms of lower time frames? We are looking at a case where, I'll just get it going, where we've got deviations after deviations. I've just said to you, the entire FTX case was deviation beneath the range low, and once we reclaimed, that was when the acceleration started to take place. Now, what do we have here on the lower time frames? We've got this previous high. We've got continuous lower highs, right? So we've got the final one, which is here. And we've got this 26.1 range low, and this area here is the range high, which means that this is deviation. We tried to break to the upside and continue to trend, but we fell back in, had a clear rejection here, and started to lose the support levels, through which this wick took place, and the liquidity has been taken beneath the low. Now what I'm looking at right now is that we've got this previous high here, and we've got some more support beneath us. Additionally, we've got the total market cap with the 200-week MA and EMA as support. So I'm looking at a case of having a final wick downwards to liquidate all the traders there, to get liquidity, to grab it, to consolidate beneath this area, just like we have been doing here. Then reclaim 26.1, and that's when you start to see continuation to the upside, as just like we have been having this deviation, and then continuation acceleration takes place on the other side, right? So I'm looking for long entries here, and I'm actually assuming that we're not going to continue falling, and I'm actually assuming that we're on the edge of having a reversal. What are the actual cases of entries here? I would say 25k and 26.1. What are the assets that you should be looking for? I think you should be looking at things like Litecoin, and I think you should also be focusing on Ether a bit more. When we're looking at Litecoin is currently still having a beautiful picture on the weekly time frame, which is ultimately going for a breakout in the next 2 to 3 weeks too. So if you want to get yourself positioned, these are the assets that you're looking for. On Thursday, we continue the talk. I hope you have been enjoying this update in which we have shortly discussed the Binance SEC case. On Thursday, I'll be back with macroeconomics as we are heading into CPI and we are heading into a period where the Fed is coming in. Are we going to get a pause, or are we going to get an additional rate hike? That's what we're looking at on Thursday, because it's important. If we're going to pause, it's going to help the markets fuel upwards even more, as the indices are still strongly rallying. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you again on Thursday. Ciao.